As a general rule, people that are emotionally available do not cheat on their partners. Of course, there's always exceptions, but it is primarily emotionally unavailable people that cheat, especially in long-term relationships. And it is for precisely this reason why, when it comes to attachment, people with an avoidant attachment style are by far the most likely to cheat in a relationship. They are the most likely to stray. First, one of the core components of emotional availability is the ability and willingness to empathize with your partner, to feel their emotions along with them, to genuinely care about their feelings, wants, and needs. And this is why people that are emotionally available generally do not cheat. They would not want to inflict that kind of pain, suffering, and betrayal on their partner due to the empathy that they feel. A person that is emotionally available, if they are unhappy in a relationship, they're likely to communicate it and leave the relationship rather than cheat. So, let's get into why it is avoidants that are the most likely to cheat in relationships. When it comes to attachment styles, it is dismissive avoidants that are the most likely to cheat, followed by fearful avoidants, then anxious attachers, and securely attached people are by far the least likely to cheat because most securely attached people are emotionally available. So why is it that avoidants are more likely to cheat in a relationship? Well, the number one reason is that cheating creates emotional distance between the avoidant and their partner. Avoidants, especially dismissive avoidants and fearful avoidants that lean dismissive, they do not feel safe at all with emotional intimacy. They don't feel safe being vulnerable. It gives them a lot of anxiety. And the reason for this goes back to their childhood. This is a person that experienced consistent childhood emotional neglect. Their emotional needs were not met. They were not given the love and the nurturing in the way that they needed. As a child, they personalized this neglect. They grew up to feel that it must be something wrong with them, that they are not lovable, that they are defective, that they are worthless. And this feeling of defectiveness is why the avoidant puts up walls and keeps their partner on the other side. They wall up their heart. Because their fear, and a lot of this fear is in the subconscious, is that if I let down my wall, my partner is going to figure out that I'm not lovable. I'm going to be exposed as being defective and worthless. So they create emotional distance between themselves and their partner, and this helps them feel safe because if there's a wall, if there's that distance, their partner won't be able to figure out that they are defective. It doesn't mean they are defective, but that's the core fear and feeling that the avoidant has. So emotional distance feels safe. And during the course of the relationship, they can do a lot of distancing behaviors to create that distance, and cheating is one of them. It is incredibly hard to be truly emotionally intimate with the person that you are actively betraying. So it gives them that distance, they feel safe. Another primary reason why avoidants are more likely to cheat is that avoidants are insecure. They rely on external validation to feel better about themselves. They don't know how to internally validate themselves. And the cheating gives them that validation. It makes them feel desired and makes them feel wanted. Now, they don't do well with emotional intimacy, and cheating gives them that surface level validation that they crave. Because most relationships that are affairs or cheating are usually fairly surface level, and that's where the avoidant feels comfortable. So they're getting that dopamine, they're getting that attention, that validation. Dopamine, the feel-good chemical that goes off in the brain, especially early in a relationship, is flying high. And that dopamine, not only is it making them feel better, it's helping numb the pain and any of the negative emotions that they don't want to face, because that's what avoidants do. They avoid emotions, they avoid problems, they avoid self-reflection, they avoid intimacy, they avoid. That's how they've learned to cope with issues, to just not deal with it. Also, the affair is a distraction. It keeps them busy. It keeps their mind occupied so they don't have to face the things that they don't want to. So it helps them feel safe by creating distance, and it gives them the validation, and it helps them avoid. Now, it still is a choice because the majority of avoidants don't cheat. They are the most likely, but the majority don't do it. Actually, 66% of dismissive avoidants don't cheat in relationships. 34% do, which is a pretty high number. However, it goes to show you it is a personal choice. Yes, insecurities and attachment wounds are absolutely a driving force behind the behavior, but character does matter. It absolutely does, because if it was purely insecurity driven, then all avoidance would cheat, but they don't, which means it is in fact a choice, and the individual character and values and morals of the person absolutely do play a factor. Cheating is inherently a selfish behavior, and is one that is done without empathy, which is why it is primarily emotionally unavailable people that cheat. Because the cheater is only thinking of themselves. They're only thinking of what they perceive they want, need, or feel in the moment. They're not considering the impact it will have on their partner. They are not considering the pain and the trauma that they're inflicting on the person that they claim to love. They're only thinking of themselves. There's no empathy there. No empathy at all. Now, when it comes to other emotionally unavailable people, narcissists are actually the most likely to cheat, and some studies have shown that 87% of full-fledged narcissists cheat in relationships. But when it comes to people that do not have a personality disorder, and it's just a matter of attachment, it is primarily dismissive avoidants that cheat. Fearful avoidants are more likely than pure anxious attachers, but they're less likely than dismissive avoidants. And it's because fearful avoidants also have an anxious attachment style in addition to that dismissive avoidant attachment style. It's disorganized attachment. And that anxious attachment style does influence them to overall be more loyal in a relationship than somebody who is purely dismissive avoidant. But fearful avoidants absolutely can cheat, and it can be for various different reasons. It can be due to the vulnerability issues, especially when the dismissive avoidant side is triggered. It can be due to insecurities and needing the external validation. And fearful avoidance can also cheat as a protest behavior because they're mad or holding resentment over something that they perceive that their partner did wrong or something that they don't like in the relationship. That said, cheating is a choice, and being cheated on is a very traumatic experience. It is traumatizing for the person that was cheated on. And it is never the fault of the person that was betrayed. You can't make somebody cheat. You absolutely can't. It is a choice. Not only does the person that was betrayed have to deal with the immediate heartbreak of knowing that the person that they love, that supposedly loves them, was with somebody else, either emotionally or physically, they also generally carry lasting scars, trust issues, and wounds that can take some time to heal. Being cheated on can also really damage one's self-esteem, because not only is it a rejection by the person that claims to love you, they're doing so without even consideration of you, no empathy, and no real concern for your pain. If you've been cheated on, do not blame yourself, because nothing you ever could have done wrong could have made the other person cheat. And if this person tries to blame you, they are gaslighting you. They are trying to avoid accountability by planting the seeds of doubt in your mind to make you think it's your fault that they cheated. It never is your fault. This person had a basket of options in front of them. If they were upset about something or unhappy with the relationship, they could have communicated. They could have gone to couples therapy. They could have left the relationship. No, they chose to cheat. And it's a reflection of them. It is a reflection of their insecurities and their emotional unavailability, but it's also a reflection of their character, their values, and morals.